So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining in the class. So, my today's topic is that I'll be speaking on the fourth canto, 30th chapter, and 19th number shloka. So, the shloka goes this way. No, I'm not going to use. गृहेष्वाशितां चापि पुंसां कुशलकर्मणां मद्वार्ता यातयामानां न बन्धाय गृहमता. So translation, those who are engaged in auspicious activities in devotional service certainly understand that the ultimate enjoyer or beneficiary of all activities is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, when one acts, he offers the result to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and passes life always engaged in the topics of the Lord. Even though such a person may be participating in family life, he is not affected by the results of his action. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Generally, a person in a family life becomes overly attached to fruit of activity. In other words, he tries to enjoy the results of his activities. A devotee, however, knows that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and the supreme proprietor. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram surida sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. So, over here he's saying that the when he's saying that griheshva avishitam chapi, he's saying that uh, griheshva avishitam pumsa means those householders, and kushala karmana, he's saying that those who are performing acts of devotion. And then he's saying that madvarta yata yamanam, he's saying that while they are spending all the time discussing about whom? Discussing about topics of Krishna. So he's saying that na bandhaya griha mataha. He's saying that these people, those who are householder people, griha mataha, they are not bound by this household life. So when he's saying that these people, they are offering everything. Prabhupada in the purport is saying that these grihasthas, what they are doing is, they are offering everything to the Supreme Lord. And why they are offering everything to the Supreme Lord? Because he is Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Surida Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati. So when he is saying that Shantim Richati, so such a person will attain peace. But those who understand that Krishna is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices and austerities, and Krishna is Sarva Loka Maheshwar, he is the proprietor of everything, and he is Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is the ever well-wishing friend of all the living entities. With these three things, that person will attain peace. So Srila Prabhupada had made this peace formula and he got it actually printed in a particular pamphlet and he distributed it. So, what is the peace formula actually? The peace formula is to accept Krishna as the enjoyer, proprietor, and well-wisher. Okay, somebody might wonder that what this has to do, got to do anything? How can, accepting Krishna as the enjoyer? Because people generally think that if we have to gain peace, then we have to do some negotiations, if two countries, fighting, then, peace conference has to be there and, there's some amicable settlements have to be there, and then some grievances also we have to address. So what, how is it going to help at the material level? Like, all these explodatives, are there with, and people want real peace. So when people are internally peaceful, then they can radiate that peace outwards. And how can people become internally peaceful is that when they become internally satisfied, because they're not satisfied internally, and people are dependent on external satisfaction. And that is why they cannot have peace as long as their external situations that are there are disrupted. And that is why these external situations are bound to be disrupted because externals are not stable, they are unstable. So here Krishna is talking about inner peace is only sustainable. Like many times we say that your externals might be disturbed, but if you have made Krishna your inner home, then whatever may be there externally, you will be actually sustaining yourself in Krishna consciousness when you've made Krishna your home. So, uh, this particular inner peace is the only sustainable inner building block for that outer peace. So when Krishna is saying that, the peace formula, the Shantim Richati, enjoyer, proprietor, benefactor, and making, peace with Krishna. So before we have to have peace in this world, we have to make peace with Krishna. So what does it mean that we have to make peace with Krishna? Somebody might say, hey, who's fighting with Krishna? Krishna is not involved in fighting. Some may say that, no, I am not fighting with Krishna. Oh, who's fighting with Krishna? So actually, we are like, we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna in the sense that we were waging a war. We wanted to enjoy independently. And that is very unfortunate. So maybe, not very constantly or hostile towards Krishna, but subconsciously also we're trying to, usurp Krishna's position as the supreme enjoyer. And we want to be co-enjoyers. We are meant to be the co-enjoyers, means we are not meant to be independent enjoyers. We want to become, enjoyer, but our enjoyment will come from some limited, areas. And when we get our enjoy, when we connect to Krishna, then our enjoyment will become unlimited because Krishna is unlimited and his capacity to enjoy is also unlimited. Then our enjoyment, when it becomes connected, and his capacity to enjoy is also unlimited. So our enjoyment, when it becomes connected to Krishna, then that is why therefore we have to make peace with Krishna. And when we make peace with Krishna, then what exactly happens is that peace comes within our heart, and then we can have peace in the outer world. Because I started with how we can have peace inside, that is why we can have peace outside. So sometimes, when our plans don't work, our resentments can be, in three directions. One can be outward, one can be inward, and one can be upward. So actually speaking, whenever we make some plan, I wanted to do this and I didn't want to do that, and we have so much of resentment, and why didn't work out for me, and so our resentment actually goes in three directions. So it can go towards others, that is outwardly, when they come in my way, and why this person is like that, and I cannot do this, and so when it goes outwards, then we become hateful. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj says that anytime that resentment goes outward, because we have that vengeful attitude or revengeful attitude. So we may not hurt the person, but the hateful or revengeful attitude hurts us definitely. When you say you're holding a coal in your hand, and at first the thing is that you burn and not the other. So that resentment can go inwards, and then we start blaming ourselves also, that I'm useless and I can never do this thing, and people will develop inferiority complex, and then they go into depression and suicide tendencies as well. So the resentment can go outwards, and then that resentment can go upwards also. Upward means that why God, is doing this thing with me, mere saath hi aisa kyun? So it becomes like a wall between me and Krishna. So when Krishna is helping us, we can't accept that help also, because because if we are resenting somebody, then how can we even take help of that particular person? So that resentment becomes a wall between me and Krishna, and then I cannot take help from Krishna because I'm not understanding really God is helping me through this devotee. God is helping me through my spiritual master. God is helping me by giving some service. We don't understand only this. And so when we want help, we all need help in this world, because this, world will pose some obstacles, some reversals will be there. But, we all need help. So that help will come through what? Two things. It will come through knowledge and it will come through faith. So when we understand that Krishna is always my well-wisher, Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. So whatever he is doing ultimately is for my good. If a reversal comes, it is for my good. And maybe I might not really immediately understand, like, patient does not immediately understand that how this, surgeon's knife is going to, immediately help me, remove my pain. I'm so much in a pain. So same, we will not understand immediately, but over a period of time we'll understand. So we have to have some patience, and we have to be faithful that yes, Krishna is Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. So when we wanted to become Bhoktaram, and we find that we cannot become Bhokta, an enjoyer, we make certain plans and think that we will enjoy in this world, but we are not able to enjoy because for enjoying we need things. So if we want to enjoy, we need some property or some money or some possessions, and sometimes our possessions are not, are sorry, they're taken away, or the possession we want will not get that resentment when it comes up. So actually, then Suridham comes when we will understand that yes, Krishna is my well-wisher, and Krishna is not only my well-wisher, Krishna is the well-wisher of all the living entities. So when we understand that Krishna is the well-wisher of all living entities, then we'll understand that he's my well-wisher also. Then that resentment, it starts breaking, and then whatever Krishna has planned for me, and then he'll say, okay, how best I can continue acting into this world. And then we have that attitude of acting best possible way whenever we have some reversals or wherever we have some resentments. And then when we act in such a way, then we are purified by the Supreme Lord. And then when we become purified, then our way becomes clearer. And when the way becomes clearer, then peace becomes more deeper and deeper. Then outside anything is happening will never affect me at all. So uh, whichever way our resentment goes, we should understand that resentment is never a positive emotion. So we should not be having this resentment. It's a negative, emotion. And whatever has happened has happened. Whatever, can't be changed, can't be changed. Whatever has gone wrong cannot be, corrected as such. But at the present, whatever is my situation, let me, continue as how Krishna is guiding me. So that is why this faith that Krishna is Suridam Sarva Bhutanam can free us from uh, enormous, resentment. And when we accept the fact that yes, Krishna is my, ever well-wishing friend, Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. So that resentment, we can say that we can, send it for retirement by the knowledge that Krishna is my well-wisher and I just need to serve Krishna and then I'll have peace. So somebody might ask that how will, we understand that Krishna is Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam. So, for us, that is the, personal application. So then in the purport, Prabhupada says that, if you see the purport, he says that, uh, that when he says that Krishna bhajane yaha haya anukula vishaya baliya tyage taha haya bhula. So if somebody is expert, he can engage everything or dovetail everything in the service of the Lord. And then Prabhupada says that the real purpose of life and secret of success is, this only, that you should learn how to dovetail everything in Krishna's service. And then he's giving over there another this, that after Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam, Prabhupada is saying that one who thus lives in a material world with family and children never become affected by contaminations of this material world. And that's where, Prabhupada is making giving the shloka number third, ninth. Yagnat karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhana tad artham karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara. So he's saying that yagnat karmano. So one should do work for what? For the purpose of yagya. And anyatra, not for any other purpose one should do work. And they say, loko ayam karma bandhan. Then if you, do work for yagna, but if you do work for your own self, then you will become bound. Loko yam karma bandhan mein aa jayenge. That is why he's saying that tad artham karma kaunteya. Tad artham means what? That yagna artha ke liye. For the sake of yagna, do that karma. Kaunteya, you should do that karma. And then he's saying what will happen? Then mukta sanga samachara. Then you will always stay free from the bondage and you will not get bound by it. So, in this, what Prabhupada is trying to say is that yagna has a form. When we do physical, some yagya. And yagya is a principle also. Like, just, like in yoga, most people associate yoga with, sitting postures and asanas. But this is the form, like, and a particular form. But the principle is that yoga means connection of the soul with the super soul. This is the principle. And when we say that yagya as a form and principle, but generally people focus on forms, like the form of yagya, the fire sacrifice. And then, that ahuti is made. But what is the principle? The principle is sacrifice. So from a material point of view, it may think that, okay, we are offering, ghee, rice, and, some offerings into that fire sacrifice, and why it is, wastage of ghee and, butter and rice and all that are useless. So fire sacrifice is actually considered as the mouth of Lord Vishnu, right? And the offerings made go actually to the Supreme Lord, because in the Rig Veda also it is said that Deva Nama Devanama Parmo Vishnu, Avama Agni Tadantara Sarva Devatas. So he's saying over there that these in Rig Veda, that among the Devatas also, the supreme Devata is Lord Vishnu. And the lowest Devata, that is the demigod, because when we say supreme Devata means in terms of accessibility and but not in terms of power. And the lowest is Agni. And in between them, then there are the other Devatas. So the highest and the most transcendental God is Lord Vishnu, and which is most difficult to even reach out to him. So, who is the easiest accessible demigod is Agni. So, through Agni, that sacrifice can be offered to all the different demigods, and then it reaches to Lord Vishnu. So, like for example, how can this be explained is that somebody has a credit card or a debit card, so he deposits 50,000 in the bank and he gets a piece of plastic, and somebody said, hey, you paid 50,000 in the bank and you just got a piece of plastic. But then we have to understand that that money is not lost. It is there through that card, and then I can spend that 50,000. So like that only we can make a sacrifice in the fire. But that sacrifice in itself is not lost. It is just lost from the material vision. It reaches Krishna, it reaches Vishnu, and then we will get that benefit of pious credit and the material and spiritual benefits also. So somebody might say, yeah, I could have eaten, but I have given it to Vishnu. That is a sacrifice. So in this particular verse, Krishna is talking about the principle of yagna and not the form of yagna. So sometimes there is a fallacy, of this yagya would be that somebody might think that, hey, just by doing yagya, I will attain swarga and enjoy, my life. And he might think that I just want to enjoy, so I'm doing yagya. But they might misuse this yagya also. If you see all this, when you do this bhoot pisach and all, they do some yagya and they put some ahutis and they actually misusing, because sometimes they give that bali also for real person. I had seen that somebody seen in the sense I had heard that somebody was actually giving bali of 21 people in down south. That person gave bali of 21 people, and then he wanted to revive his mother back again. So it can be misused also, but the principle is, sacrifice. And so that, I what I could have enjoyed, I'm giving it for the sake of the Supreme Lord, and that is sacrifice. So yagna it represents sacrifice. So Krishna is telling over here that when you're doing work as a sacrifice, then you will not be bound. You will be liberated. And therefore, your work as a sacrifice, then there is no bondage at all. So that is why the principle of even Varnashram Dharma also comes, because the purpose of Varnashram Dharma is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. So when somebody will do the Varnashram Dharma properly, then he will not be bounded also in the karmas. So uh, somebody might say that, like, there Prabhupada, gives a lot of compare and contrast also. Or he'll give a cause and he'll give an effect also. So here, what is the effect he's giving? That some people in the purport he's writing that some people might take to sannyas to become free from the reactions of fruitive activity. But one who is not received the results of his action, then if he offers them to the Supreme Lord, certainly he will remain in a liberated condition. So many times people take sannyas, no doing activity, nothing, so I will not get bound only. But this is, Krishna is saying that no, you should start acting and do not give up the activity. Act in such a way that you're not bound. And the Lord is saying that whatever we do, yat karosi, yat asnasi, yat josi, dadasi, yat tapasi tu kaunteya, tat guruso mad arpanam. Whatever you're doing, you do it for me only. So one who does not receive those results of his action, but he's offering them to Krishna, then he is always in a, Jivan Mukta, where Prabhupada says in the purport only that Iha Yasya Hare Dase Karmana Manasa Gira Nikhilasu Apiya Vastu Jivan Mukta Sa Uchchate. So if he's engaging himself, through his wealth, words, mind, body, intelligence, whatever he's possessing, then that person is liberated in whatever condition he is. And that is why that person is called a Jivan Mukta, that he is liberated in this lifetime only. So, devoid of Krishna conscious, one who is engaging into material activities, he becomes more and more, entangled in the material bondage. So, they have to suffer and they have to enjoy the actions and the reactions of whatever activity they are doing. So, see, what is Prabhupada's mood and mission? He's writing in the purport itself only. He's saying that the Krishna conscious movement is therefore the greatest boon to human, because it keeps one always engaged in Krishna's service. The devotee thinks of Krishna, act for Krishna, eat for Krishna, sleep for Krishna, and work for Krishna. That everything is engaged in the service of Krishna. A total life of Krishna conscious saves one from material contamination. So, what I told previously also, yat karosi, yat asnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi. So, this is what is Prabhupada's mood and mission. He started this mission only that he wants to give the highest to humanity. He wants to remove people from that material bondage. They are वो अपने कर्मों में लिप्त है. So he wants to actually free from that them from that material bondage, and that is why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also, because Prabhupada is of course having the mood of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also in his bhajan has said that Krishna bhajane yaha haya anukula vishaya baliya tyage taha haya bhula. So if one is very expert, he can engage or dovetail everything in Krishna's service. And to give up the material world or to give up this material life would be a big blunder. So that is why he is suggesting that we should learn how to dovetail everything in the service of the Lord, and everything is connected to Krishna. And that is why the next shloka Prabhupada means Tasmad asakta satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hi acharam karma param apnoti purusha. So he's saying Tasmad, therefore. Why therefore? Because it is making no difference to detach person or to a duty person, or to do a duty or not do the duty. Therefore, asakta satatam. Therefore, he's saying Arjuna that while you're staying detached, karya karma samachara, do your karya, do your prescribed duty. And if you do your prescribed duty, then what will happen? Asakto hi acharam karma. By performing that particular duty with detachment, then what will happen? Param apnoti purusha. You will attain the Supreme Lord. So in this way, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you do your duty. So Krishna is telling that, yes, if you think you are satisfied, that you don't need a kingdom and you don't need to be, with your family, you just go to the forest and be satisfied over there only. And then if it is not making a difference, then whether you are in the forest or whether you are in the city or whether you are on the Kurukshetra warfare, it does not have to make a difference for you. So exactly, Krishna is turning around the same argument, the same point, that I am so transcendental that I don't need, to do any duty. And yes, if you're so transcendental that, okay, whatever duty also you're doing should not make any difference. So for us, the personal application over here would be that sometimes, frustration in material life is not sufficient for, spiritual life. So it has to be a positive attraction to spiritual life. And positive attraction in spiritual life, it is tested and demonstrated by some sustained commitment. It is tested, means like, myself, it is a test today that I may feel frustrated and I wanted to switch to spiritual life, but even in good times, this desire is there or not for me. Sometimes only in, bad times we want to, move towards spirituality. Then it is a test for me, and it is a demonstration for others also, because if it is there, then one can renounce the material life and focus on spiritual life. So someone may say that, I'm so transcendental, I don't really care, for my studies. Then, well, if you're so transcendental, you study. If it is not making a difference, you study and set example for the others. That, okay, while studying also, I can, remember Krishna. So, and Krishna is giving some examples also. He's giving example of Janak Maharaj. He's giving his own example. Krishna is also doing some karma. So, he is giving a general principle that be attached but do your work. Karyam karma samachara, aap karte raho apna kaam. So, and when asakto hi acharam, then when you will act in detachment, then what will happen here? Krishna is saying that you will attain the supreme destination, because Krishna is not directly using mam or mama or any of these words. He's using Purusha, and now we know Purusha is only one, that is Krishna. So, because if you see, even in the first section of Karma Yoga, Krishna has never used a direct address to himself. It is only in the second section of the Bhakti Yoga, Krishna uses direct words like mama, mam, and all these, words he's using. So he's saying that, so from a worldly point of view, Arjuna is thinking that, I've seen most people who want liberation, they are renouncing the world. So Krishna says, no, there are examples. There are examples like Amrish Maharaj, there are examples like Janak Maharaj, Bali Maharaj is there. So the preaching application for us would be that Prabhupada is mentioning actually in the purport only that uh, 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 material activities for the purpose of sense gratification and material activities for the purpose of satisfying Krishna. So they are not one and the same. They both are different, because material activities for sense gratification are the cause for material bondage. Whereas that same activity, when you do it for the satisfaction of Krishna, it is the cause of liberation. Now, this is, personal application or preaching application also for us, that how can some same activity can be, a cause of bondage also and cause of liberation also. So Prabhupada gives an analogy over there of milk sweets, that, okay, condensed milk is there, rice is there, and then somebody has, diarrhea. So how that milk yogurt, preparation will help him. Milk, because Prabhupada was a farmer, so he knew that yogurt, milk with black pepper and black salt will immediately, cure all those maladies. So milk preparation can cause indigestion also, and it can cause diarrhea also. And the other milk preparation can cure. So if, like, if one is placed in material opulence due to some special mercy of the Supreme Lord, then he should not consider that opulence as a bondage. Some people think, "Arey, itana dhan de diya, abhi na headache ho gaya mere liye." Ambani's might say this, or anybody would say. But no, when a mature devotee is blessed with that material opulence, he does not become affected adversely, because he knows how to employ that material opulence in the service of Krishna. And in our history, we have got so many examples like Prithu Maharaj, we've got Prahlad Maharaj, we have got Dhruv Maharaj, who have got so much of opulence. We have got Maharaj Ishwaku also. And these were very great kings who have, this. So Prabhupada in the last para he says that if a devotee is not mature, the Supreme Lord will take away all his opulence. Because the Supreme Lord says that, Yasyaham anugramani harishyata dhanam snen. So he's saying that my first mercy shown to my devotees to take away all that material opulence. And because Krishna thinks that I have given him this material opulence, it is detrimental to his devotional service and it is taken by the Supreme Lord. So a person who is mature in devotional life or devotional service is given all that facility. But one who does not know how to utilize that material opulence, then Krishna takes away that material opulence from there. So even in our eighth canto, chapter 22nd, Bali Maharaj ka, that Bali Maharaj also, because see, it is a misplaced fallacy or perception that Krishna does not grant opulence to his devotees. 2 minutes. Na? Ah, ho gaya. But I'm just going to recap. So Krishna does not, it is a fallacy, like, it galat, hai ki, that he does not grant opulence to his devotees. But we have seen in the Bhagavatam that with examples like the fruit vendor or Sudama or even, Dhruv Maharaj also. So Krishna has given opulence. So opulence will come only by the will of the Supreme Lord. Because Prabhupada also mentions in one of his lectures that Krishna had favored me also. He also took away everything. Took away all my source of income, and that is, Prabhupada says that is Krishna's special favor for me. Even for the Pandavas ke liye bhi, what he did is that Krishna took away everything, wife, possession, honor, everything tested. But still, what in those reversals also, what is the best part of the Pandavas? That Pandavas did not give up Krishna. For us, it is a practical application, is that personal application would be that Krishna has taken everything and I'm on road. But still I can chant. Still I can, utter the names. Zaban to nahi le liye na meri. He's not taken away my tongue. He's not taken away my hand. He's at least kept me in one piece. So, even in the, where Krishna is telling that the test of a devotee is that he shows special favor. He takes away everything. He takes away all the wealth. But why he takes away all that wealth? Because it is a special favor from from Krishna. Because that material attachment is not so great that one cannot, the material attachment is so great that one cannot go to Krishna. So because he's too attached to material life, that is why, Krishna takes away. So opulence has to be utilized properly, and one should focus on serving Krishna. And the devotee's opulence is eternal. But when Krishna gives opulence to his devotees, so he does not become proud. And when Krishna does not give opulence to, because he becomes more humble, and that is why the mature devotee, what he does is he receives various, facilities. But there is one more, thing that one last thing I would like to say that for our personal application is that what is real poverty for a devotee? The real poverty for the devotee is that when he forgets Krishna, that is the real poverty. Money going, wife going, husband going, relatives going is not actually poverty. But when he forgets Krishna, that is the real poverty for, Krishna. So with that, I'll end my, speech. I'm sorry I had to speak a lot, but I cut short everything.
Thank you for that.
We were said 45 minutes and then I heard for 30 minutes. Na?
30 to 35 minutes of presentation, then it will not question answer.
Haan.
Main thing actually, Google channel will take 30 minutes. After the pushing for
I would like to do comments because really no one. So well prepared, yeah, well prepared and very expert. And especially I like Prabhupada's pronunciation and personal.
I like the fallacy also, that people will think anything wrong also about that particular shloka. So for me, that fallacy was more important. So, any corrections? You all are my friends, so peers can always correct. If there is something room for improvement, you can always tell me.
It was well prepared. I like all the points. Just that we're one, just.
Sure, definitely.
Like, means the steps to implement, means what are you told, knowledge, faith, the steps to implement this should also be included.
Yes. Yeah. That how will knowledge come? How will faith? Knowledge and faith will come only through the association of devotees. That, yeah, I forgot to mention.
We'll go point by point. Actually, now it's like a open class. It is very smooth. Everyone like a flowing like a river without any stop. That is really appreciable. But when we're going classes, many new people will come to our class. It is not all restricted entry or like that. It's open door. So if you see the proper purpose in proper lectures, a lot of difference.
Yes.
They connect with the real facts, real situations. So when we start, so please take this other just.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Sure. Yes, Prabhuji. Sure.
So when we're starting the class after prayers, you can establish the context. Srimad Bhagavatam, book, CANTO, like small.
Prabhuji, I had prepared that. Means that overview, that how does it start and all. But when I went into the flow of the, what do you say, and then 30 minutes mere dimag mein tha, in my notes, that flow is there.
3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You can dedicate for the introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then
Yes. Yeah, that how Lord Shiva, because this shloka, Lord Krishna is speaking to the Prachetas, and Maitre Muni, Vidur is asking Maitre Muni that why, did Lord Shiva, what benediction did Lord Shiva give to these Prachetas, and what did they did? And they did some austerities, and when they did austerities, then after doing the austerities, Lord Krishna gave them darshan. And then Lord Krishna is very happy with them, and then he's speaking this shloka for them.
So we have to do Bhagavatam, purpose, why it is spoken.
And this chapter's connection is actually from 24th chapter, where Lord Shiva is giving the Prachetas the mantra for pleasing the Supreme Lord. And Lord Shiva is also giving so many prayers to the Supreme Lord. And he gave them the mantra. They chanted that mantra. And then this, so the connection is from 24th chapter to this chapter.
So we have to explain such a sandwich way.
Yes.
So newcomer can understand what is the context.
Yes.
That is important. Like overview of Bhagavatam, why this sloka is spoken, and what is the context connection. So that we have to establish first. Then in between we have to add the real life example we are doing in current situation. We should know what's surrounding, we want connected to this sloka. And we will like Prabhupada give a very simple example. Like how the car driver gets benefit by serving the car owner. He will get the same benefit.
Same benefit, yes.
Without paying a single
penny. Yes.
So like that, वो चमकने से सामने आएगा हाँ ऐसा है. Then like people say renounce order means we have to give up the sansar. No, purpose is that we have to give up sansar and come to Krishna sansar. भगवान कृष्ण संसार करके भगवान के संसार में. So how to compare भगवान संसार that अपने घर का चप्पल स्टैंड होता है छोटा होता है, उनकी का बड़ा होता है. If you see our why mean bulb, कितना बट्टे 10 by 12 जो भी रहता है इधर से. So where is more happiness? If you see our kitchen बर्तन, इसमें भगवान के बर्तन में इसे नहीं कर सकते. So everything is big. We are not going to lose anything. Yes. So if newcomer understand that here I will get more what I have, then he will get established here.
Yes, right.
Then Mata is there about the one about the Krishna's protection. So how it's protected. So Prabhupada very wonderfully says like Ananya Sintantuma. So if you can just look out with Lord Krishna's protection, even if we take LIC policy, this is a Yoga Simha. but they're not fulfilled. If
Hmm.
you stop the premium, they will have the policy.
Yes.
So where we are getting more, not Krishna, I should both things. Protection also and giving also.
Yes, yes.
So like that, we have to connect with each and everyone and that's the beauty of Srila Prabhupada. Then how to solve karma bandhana, Mataji? How to overcome the karma bandhana?
How you dovetail it, there are the same activities there. And I am actually eating also, and others also eating. But what am I eating? I'm eating Krishna Prasad. So before whatever I'm eating, I'm offering it to Krishna. So Krishna Arpanamastu. Whatever activity I do, I'm actually giving it to, offering it to Krishna and then taking that prasad. So normal person is also eating outside. I'm also eating out. But I'm eating Krishna Prasad, so I'm not being bound in that karma bandhan. I am actually, I'll be liberated by, because whatever that I have earned or whatever I have prepared has some impurities in it. So when I'm offering it to Krishna, Krishna will purify it and, give it back to me. So material, as I also said that there will be, material activities for the purpose of sense gratification and material activities for the sense, so satisfying the Supreme Lord also. In both the ways, both activities are not same, but material activities will give me bondage. But spiritual activities, if I do anything for the satisfaction of Krishna, it will be a cause of my
So how we
liberation.
are going to explain this example of karma from karma bandhana to a person newcomer?
We can tell them that, whatever activity you're doing, you do it, but do it as an offering to Krishna. Like, for example, at least when you're going for your job, you just pray to Krishna that, okay, Krishna, I'm going for earning for you. That in an act in itself will become like, offering to Krishna. Or for a normal person outside, I said that you offer food to Krishna, you'll not be bounded. Whatever you're earning, a little part, 100, 200, 300 rupees, you give it to Krishna, then you will not be bound in that particular activity as such. Otherwise, all this material activity will be the cause of your bondage. But if you are giving something to Krishna slowly, steadily, you're, what do you say? You're surrendering slowly and steadily, then you will be not entangled into this karma bandhana.
So as per the Radha there are TDS,
TDS.
transcendental restrictions, tangible service charges,
Yeah.
and government also charging us. So if government is helping us for educating educators, school, college, everything. So government facilitating. How it is will deduct some taxes.
Hmm.
So similarly, God also given this body, functional body,
Huh.
free oxygen, and for that we have to express a gratitude.
Hmm.
So like that, people can connect that. Now, what is my appreciation for me for today?
Huh.
So like I recently to send one mail that we are composing one Gita for school all over India. So probably written one sentence that we should not throw something from the cloud. It should be actually understanding for the children also. We have to establish such a principle from Gita. So if you say that government is providing the facilities, then we have to pay the tax because it is going to. Similarly, Lord is providing facilities, we have to express a gratitude by giving something, mansa, vacha, kaya, whatever way we can serve the Lord. That is the way to karma bandhana. If you tax बचाते हैं हम किधर पकड़ जाते हैं पकड़ लेते हैं income tax वाले पीढ़ी वाले. So similar way, we have to also respect the Lord what we get that we respect.
Yes.
Then if we add generally, like we can say that now we are coming to temple, we are welcome. But if you come with something in hand, like fruits, flower, Lord asking, okay, that is your personal recipe in the Lord. Then personal experience and realization if we add, this is my personal realization. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, after coming to Krishna consciousness. How my sinner guided me and what I get. So our personal realization always make the very impact.
Impact, yes.
What of philosophy plus for personal realization.
Realization.
Then Mataji, you say about one thing, positive attraction with example is something like positive attraction. No? One point you say. So what is the positive attraction?
Positive.
Krishna conscious practices.
Positive attraction.
Attraction related to say something. So if we substitute this, add with the examples that what is positive attraction, then next is the only 2 points are remaining. Newcomer they are coming, many devotees also. You see, the easiest way to connect with the Lord and to overcome the karma bandhana is that through sevas. Whatever capability. So many services are available, and Prabhupada designed this system in such a way that no other organization have. That each and every person can connect with the Lord through services as per his psychophysical nature. From childhood also, to appreciation, to sankirtan, to anything. Even jewelry design, so many things are there. So we have to provide some option to the everyone that they can engage in any services. Because service, like Jai Bhagav Samara engage in only in the putting the nail. Very simple. People can look at what I can engage in any services.
Yes.
Then the last one is how Lord gives a special favor. The special favor, Yoga Shema. That we can add that if some children want to eat chocolates, father want to eat halwa, handmade halwa, like proper given the Dasi Logo.
Yes. Yes.
So Dasi Logo is taking money to purchase chocolate. One day, proper found that is eating chocolate by the temple money. So proper personally cook halwa for it. This thing, Mataji, that because proper applied soft principle in personal life.
Yes.
So we can add proper personal life example. So many of proper disciples are there. How they distribute with the, it's like this of the record. I want to share that whenever Param Puja Gopal Krishna Goswami is going to home of the big Malhotra, I think you share someone shared in one of the glorification that Maharaj will carry everything to his home.